Well, good Monday evening, man. Feels like October, doesn't it? The challenge here is trying to tell your mind that this really isn't real, right? This kind of cool down. We were the second coolest day as far as the high temperature goes. Got to go back to, I think it was 1950. The high was 78. I think we were 79 today. Pretty impressive. Then I was thinking about the best way to kind of illustrate this. In the spring and in the wintertime, it's easier to talk about these wedge events because we typically don't get this in early August. And I don't ever recall it happening this early in the season because it's still full-blown summer. So I think the best way to describe what's going on is if you've ever been like to California, San Francisco, they get the marine layer that comes in. This was kind of like a very much a marine layer called cold air damming, and the Atlantic Ocean has a lot to do with it. However, the Atlantic is not that much cooler, so that's kind of why I struggled with the forecast leading up to this. I knew what was coming, but I didn't know exactly how strong it was going to be, especially considering it's early August. But sure enough, that marine layer, cold air damming showed up, and it was nice. There's only 37 of you on here. Well, we're going to make it brief, I guess. Let's get into the forecast. I appreciate you guys tuning in. We're going to go ahead and talk weather. Here's what's going on. Temperatures in the low 70s. And Fort Payne, you've been around 70 most of the day. Atlanta today, stuck in the 60s. There's also some rain-cooled air that kind of has an influence out there, too, for us. And it kind of drops those temperatures, and it reinforces with that east-southeast wind. Atlanta is at 67 now. That area shaded in green is that wedge effect as everything kind of comes in with that east wind. And the area high pressure is kind of centered over the Great Lakes. This whole air mass is, and eventually it's going to basically break down. Tomorrow I expect us to get back in the low 80s. Tonight, about 67, partly cloudy. Perfect conditions out there. This has been great fire pit weather, too. You know, a lot of times in August, it's just too hot. You know, you get on the side of your house, and it's been warm all day, and the bricks retain that heat, and it's uncomfortable. 82 tomorrow, but I think in DeKalb County and Jackson County, you might actually have one more day in the mid to upper 70s before the wedge completely breaks down. Satellite shows you the rain up into the Carolinas. Charlotte dealing with widespread light to moderate rain throughout the day today. And then we'll continue to see some rain down here to the south. What we're watching by the weekend, there may be some tropical development, which is down near the Turks and Caicos tonight. In fact, it's just off of the map here. We've also got Tropical Storm Dexter. Haven't talked a whole lot about it. I don't usually like to post things on Facebook that aren't going to impact us at all, and that would be Dexter. So again, Dexter is just a post to make if you're trying to keep track of all the tropical weather. It's even north of Bermuda, so it's just a problem for shipping. And as far as our weather goes, notice the numbers here and notice the conditions here. Where it's gray, where it's cloudy, your temperatures won't drop much at all tonight from where they are now. If we clear out a bit, you may actually wake up in the upper 50s in Pulaski, 62 in Moulton, and about 63 in Florence. Notice the shower activity mainly confined into Georgia again tomorrow. And around here, a slow warm-up where you have clouds. The clouds are going to start to break up as we get into the afternoon, and the shoals will be quite a bit warmer. Again, you were about 10 degrees warmer out in the shoals today than you were there on Lookout Mountain today. But this will be the last day of cloud cover, probably for northeast Alabama, and then we all warm back up. So over the next 3 days, 82 tomorrow, 86 Wednesday, and typical summer. The good news here is even we had that extreme heat leading up to all of this, which is what makes us feel so much more comfortable, but we don't have that extreme heat coming right back. We're going to have periods of showers and storms probably into the weekend, but the chance is still fairly low the way I see it now. Going to take a break here this last 1 minute, and then we will be right back to your weather. We'll talk 10-day forecast coming up. All right, here's your 10-day forecast. Thanks for sticking around for that. As expected, temperatures near normal. Now, one thing we'll watch is the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday time frame next week. If we do get this tropical system to maybe move inland into, say, South Carolina, if it backs up into Georgia, that'll increase our chance for rain. But with a system that's not really developed yet, it's just kind of a wave. With that, we don't see any significant chance of rain. At least it's more difficult to forecast that unless it's fully formed. And there's also a fairly strong tropical wave getting ready to move off the coast of Africa. We'll have to watch that. So I think over time, the next 2 weeks overall, we're going to see a lot more activity in the Atlantic hurricane season. Hopefully it doesn't have any impacts here in the Gulf, but we'll watch and see. But around here the next few days, enjoy the cooler weather again tomorrow, and then we'll continue to see temperatures in the low 90s into next week, which is pretty typical of this time of year. Chances for rain are there, but I'll tell you, they're low, and they usually are low this time of year. Again, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Coming up, we'll be talking about all of this again on your 10-day forecast at 10 o'clock.